Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Thursday, or Friday Light, or Friday Eve. It is Thursday. You've made it this far, right? Especially after what, like a holiday weekend? Whoo! So if you're kicking butt this week, pat yourself on your back. If you're not kicking butt this week, pat yourself on the back anyways, because like I said, last week for over here was holiday weekend, so lots of eating, lots of fun, lots of stuff. So anyways, we are on card number 12 of getting into the vortex or getting into self-awareness. And just as a recap, which is kind of, the thing now at the beginning of these, it is really just kind of us decorating this house of self-love that we built with the 30 days. But first, I'm going to start with this little gem of cards. They're called Daily Magic Alchemical Thought Cards. Sorry, my eyes. Alchemical Thought Cards. I love these. I went through them the other day, and there's 33 of them. I don't know why, but that number always follows me, the number 33. So anyways, let's shuffle and roll. Look how cute they are. They're so tiny, just like the other ones. I think they might be tinier than the other ones. I don't know. But let's see. Alchemical Thought Cards. What do you got for us today? What wisdom do you have for us today? Ooh, there we go. There's a couple right there. So let's just go with those, and then we'll get right into the vortex. Okay. Oops. Sorry, guys. All right. Here we go. Card number 1. You live in the quantum field of all possibilities. Now act like it. You live in the quantum field of all possibilities. Now act like it. Excuse my nails. But, there you go. I mean, this is kind of goes right along with the vortex cards, right? You live in the quantum field of all possibilities. Now act like it. And what it's saying is basically what we've been talking about with the law of attraction, right? Excuse me, I'm still fighting this cold. When you put yourself, again, going back to yesterday's card about vibrations, when you put yourself into that vibration, that good vibration, that manifesting vibration, you are putting yourself into that vortex. And that's what this deck is all about. It's about getting into the vortex. But it's also, I kind of narrowed it down for those who might struggle with, what's the vortex? Am I going to be portaled away and swooped into another world? No. It's self-awareness. The vortex is what's inside of you. It's that big swirly thing that you kind of make life decisions out of, and that you draw things near and far, or push things away from you, or to you or from you. So when it says right here, you live in the quantum field of all possibilities, now act like it. Now, okay, let's get a little nerdy here. If anybody saw the movie Avengers Endgame, they went into the quantum realm, right? Which is kind of like, well, I mean, I think that's more Ant-Man and the Wasp, but coming up. But, they use the quantum stuff, all the quantum science to get what they needed to be able to bring people back. Now, it's the same idea. What they were doing is they were just making it happen. They were going into this field and they were like, okay, let's do this. This is kind of the same thing for you. You're not going to go into a time machine. You're not going to be an Avenger, but, well, you could be if you want to be. That's your choice. Being an Avenger is just being a good human and fighting for the right things, But in reality here, I don't know. Sorry, I'm stuck on the fact that I think it would be kind of fun to be an Avenger. But you live in the quantum field of all possibilities, which means that when you put that vibration out there, when you put this beautiful, lovely, wonderful thing out there, you are going to bring beautiful, wonderful, lovely things to you. And again, like I said, you have to leave wiggle room for things, because what you ask for, it may not be exactly what you get, but it's going to be what is meant for you. Okay, so you could say, well, I want this, this, and that. Well, you may not get what you want, but you're going to get what you need. You're going to get what you just, what fits your desire in the way that it fits you. So, just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, especially as we get ready to jump into this card number 12, because all these cards are going to be vibrational. All these cards are going to be, tied in like little balloons that the person at Disneyland holds, right? They have all these bazillions of balloons, and that's what all these cards are. They lead back to one thing, And, you know, they all have a theme in common, and that's the universal law. Now, again, if that's not your thing, you know, lean into your higher power. You know, lean into whoever you pray to, whoever you pay homage to, and think of them as your universal law. Think of them as saying, well, if you're going to not trust me, then you're going to continue to not get what you want. Because that's the whole point is of trusting. Sorry, I'm all fidgety today. So anyways, again, you live in the quantum field of all possibilities. Now act like it. Act like it. When you put out bad vibes, you're going to get bad vibes back. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, we all are going to have bad days. But the trick is to not sit there forever in it. If you have a bad day, brush it off. Try to fix tomorrow. Try to make it better. If it's early enough in the day and you're having a bad day, do your best to fix the day. You know, it might be hard. You might have to push through it. But you know what? Practice makes perfect, right? Well, I don't know if it ever makes perfect, but practice makes it better. Practice makes you better. Practice makes things easier. That should be the saying. Practice makes things easier because it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, you're like, oh God, I'm having a bad day. And then you might go into some kind of form of mindfulness. You might meditate. You might take deep breaths. You might just go for a walk on your break if you're at work. You might take a few moments to go in the bathroom and sit in a stall. You know, we've all done it. Come on. I mean, if you haven't done it, then yay for you. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean like yay for you, because that means that you got your shit together. All right. So, and you know what? That's not to say that the people that do have to do this don't have their shit together. There are going to be days when we get overwhelmed, and it's okay. But like I said, if you fall down, get up where you fell. Okay? Don't just sit there. You know, don't wallow in it, because that's when you start to bring all these bad things. And trust me, I speak from experience. So anyways, the next card, this is funny. This one's following me. I wanted to pull a card to put in my new planner for kind of like the idea for next year, for 2023, the motto for 2023. And I really like this one. So the only illusion of death is that it is an ending. Live as if your choices will always matter. I like that last part. Live as if your choices will always matter. The only illusion of death is that it is an ending. But it's just one ending. It's an ending and a beginning, depending on what your beliefs are. It's an ending and a beginning. If you believe you go somewhere on the other side, then it's just the ending of this chapter of your soul and the beginning of the next chapter of your soul. And when you really stop and think about it, if you really do believe, I believe in things over on the other side, on the other side of the veil. And when you really stop and think about it, this life is just, if you do believe in those things, this life is just a chapter in your soul's eternity. It's a moment in its time. It's just a blip. So how do you want to leave this world? Because if you also believe in reincarnation, you're going to come back to this world. A lot of people don't, and that's okay. But I've got news for them. So I know I'm not trying to force my beliefs. There's just, you know, sometimes when you're really tapped in, you see things and you know things, and it does make it easier. It does make looking at the other side easier. It made it easier for me to have these beliefs, and I already had them in place when my mother passed away, but to know and to hear some of the things she was saying when she was becoming kind of I'm not sure what the word would be, but as she was slipping away, you know, she would start to see things, and my mother was very anti-seeing things, you know. So to kind of have that validation was very, very kind of very, very good for me. And I think to have that validation really kind of summoned up my beliefs, and like, wow, okay, you know, this has never really been her beliefs. These are the spiritual beliefs that I'm gathering and I'm gaining, and the higher powers. And I mean, I already had the higher powers. I grew up with the higher powers, but to know, you know. So, and people will say, oh, it's just her mind going through all these things. You know what? That's okay. Science can tell you whatever you want, but you know what? Trust your gut. Whatever you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. You believe what you want to believe. All right? I guess I kind of was earlier, so I apologize for that, because it's not my place to push my beliefs onto other people. You have to figure it out for yourself. But remember, the only illusion of death is that it is an ending. And so here comes the important part one last time. Live as if your choices will always matter. Live as if your choices will always matter. Because how do you want to leave this world? Again, how do you want to leave this world? Do you want to leave it in a good place, or do you want to leave it where people are mad at you or bitter or angry or sad, over choices you may have made that affected them? And what I'm talking about is the choices that you made in your everyday life. I'm not talking about if people choose their end, because that's a choice. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. So I definitely do not judge those people. So, you have to be in a lot of pain to get to that point. So, really, if you are a person that feels like you should judge them, please don't, because you have no idea what people go through, So, and, so anyways, and be there for people, that's what we can do. We can listen. Sometimes that's all they need is an ear. So, card number 12 of getting into self-awareness / the Vortex. I can attract relationships that agree with my desires. I can attract relationships that agree with my desires. Dun, 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 dun. Before we get to the back side of the card, think about that. So when I first moved up here from San Diego, I moved up here because of a guy. It didn't work out. But I met another guy, and that guy got me in. I mean, I always kind of liked hockey, but in San Diego, we didn't really have any. And, when we did, I was too young to drive, and my dad is football and baseball all the way. So he might be a little hockey now because of me. But so I couldn't go. And so I would kind of watch all the other markets and, and LA's team. And, but when I first moved up to Orange County, because of this guy and ended up staying here, because, I met another guy, and we hit it off, and he brought me to my first live hockey game. And boy, I was hooked after that. I mean, right? It's fourth row from the glass, and you're just like, what? Actually, third row from the glass. And, I ended up being a longtime season seat holder until, until I got laid off, but also because I got a really bad concussion that just kind of affected my everything. I was like sensory overload, and it would just overwhelm my senses and just make me sick and migraines and all that. So anyways, not that you need to know all that, but the point is, I got so into it that I thought, you know what? I don't have a lot of friends up here. I have my work friends. Well, I have a work friend, which was Sissy, actually, at the time. So I thought, maybe I should join the Booster Club. Maybe that will help me, and that's where I met older sibling. And so, I really wanted, and what I put out there is I would like friends that, are loyal, friends that are nice, friends that are sweet. I got some that were a little sketchy, but you work your way through, and through hockey as well, I met another friend, and I call them the gang. Because, we hang out, we do birthdays. We haven't in a while because I've just not been in a good place mentally, but we do all these things together, and these are people that I've known for at least 20 years now, because I took that step, because I put out this desire to the world to have relationships with people that, that had things in common with me. And hockey was our glue. Hockey is what brought us all together. And so, and then after that, you find out you have all these other interests, but the number one person in my life that I am so grateful to have met, who I really feel I drew into my life, is older sibling. She's also an only child. We run around and we adopt our siblings. We adopt our siblings. So, because when you're an only child, you can pick your brothers and sisters. But I'm grateful that we chose each other, because she really is a wonderful older sibling. And I'm not always the greatest younger sibling, but I do my best. But, I do my best better now than I did before. But anyways, you can attract relationships that agree with your desires. Okay, people that are like-minded, people that really kind of tune in to the things that you like, that you want to do. And you know what? Don't worry if they don't. You might say, I have zero in common with this person. Why are we together? Why are we friends? Why are we partners? Why are we whatever it is that you're aiming for? Um, it's okay because opposites can attract. And maybe you're meant to teach each other how to enjoy other things other than what you're used to. It's a process, but it's also an adventure. And you can adventure in that circle that you have, which is okay. But every so often it's good to adventure out of that circle. It's good to take a step out and see the rest of the world. Look at, and I don't mean necessarily traveling, but, to see what else the world has to offer. I mean, I know sibling was a little bit into baseball, but I mean, Sissy and I taught her football, so we opened her experience to that, and I'm still not sure she's that in tune to it, but whatever. But I learned about equestrian jumping, and that's now one of my favorite Olympic sports, and I would have never given it the time of day. It's like, I don't want to watch a sport where the horse does all the work, but I've since changed my mind on that and realized they're a team. They are a team. Okay? Excuse me. So, let's get to this. People are not finding it difficult to find the mate of their dreams because that person is not out there, but because of their own contradiction to their own desire and the thoughts they offer about the subject every day. When you consistently offer thoughts about your future relationship that feel good while you think them, that means you are consistently matching the desires that you have discovered as you lived life. And under those conditions, only someone in agreement with your desires could come to you. Now, this is specifically talking about, it sounds like, it sounds like romantic relationships, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just romantic relationships. It can be any type of relationship, okay? Friendship, family, maybe you're struggling with a family member, maybe, I know the world changes too fast for some people, and people become more comfortable being who they are, and people just, we can use, I don't know. I don't want to be controversial about this because it is kind of a sticking point with a lot of people. But you can use a parent who may be very, very religious, whose child has come out to them, and that could be hard. But I don't want to tell people how to think. But stop for a moment and remember, this is a child you gave birth to, and if you're embarrassed by them coming out of the closet, why? Are you more embarrassed about what people are going to think? About what people are going to say? Or is it because it goes against everything you believe? Because remember, you created this child. You created this person. And I think, as the world changes, we should be changing with it. But a lot of people get stuck in patterns. A lot of people get stuck in their own ways. So when we talk about this card, and I can attract relationships that agree with my desires, it's also about putting that vibe out there. Put, that out there. Like, if you are that person who is having a problem with the parent, or maybe a parent came out to a child after all these years, put it out there. I'm so happy and grateful that we find some common ground. I'm so happy and grateful that, and I know that that's really kind of the extreme of it all, because it is talking about romantic relationships in this card. But I mean, I told you, I put out a desire to make friends that I would have a lot in common with, friends that I would have fun with, friends that I would go do things with and have adventures with. And I met one group, but that group got kind of stifled by one person, a very controlling person. And, I mean, I've never been kicked out of a group of friends before, but, but it was okay because I landed on my feet and found people that I would know for the last 20 years that were just magical. They're just magical. I mean, there are times when we butt heads. One of us butts heads. Two of us, I should say. But for the most part, when we're all together, we have fun, we laugh, we giggle. And I do miss that. I do miss that because, like I said, my mind in the last couple of years has not been in a good place. So I've missed a lot of outings with them. But I want to change that in 2023. And I think some of these cards as we head into the new year are going to really be good to kind of set where, I mean, these cards are probably going to bring us into February, but the cards we're already doing now, I think they're really setting this really lovely, space for you to exist in, for you to really kind of look at 2023 and go, you know, and older sibling, we're talented because she got kicked out too. And it's just because we disagreed. We disagreed. So it backfired though. It backfired because I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty charismatic and people are drawn to my light. I know doesn't sound very humble, and it's not meant to, because there was a lot of sarcasm in that whole thing. It was just ridiculous. It really was. And I think the reason I'm probably sharing that is because if you have a group of friends, don't try to run roughshod over them. Don't try to control everything to make yourself seem so much better. Your friends are with you because they like your company. They don't need someone to mother them. They don't need someone to tell them this is how it should be. This is what we're doing. This is, sometimes you do need someone to put their foot down when you're traveling, but I mean, there was one time when we were traveling as a group, when we went to Minnesota, and some of us had already had plans on what we wanted to do. And this person was upset because it was nothing they wanted. Well, we want to do this. And it's like, well, go. You don't need to hold your hand. Just go. This is what we planned. This is what we wanted to do. You joined the trip late. So, if you would have joined early on, we probably could have worked this in. But you thought it was stupid to go somewhere cold for New Year's. I loved it. I mean, come on. It was like my only winter I ever spent New Year's in. So, like real winter. I mean, come on. This is California. We don't get a lot of winter down here. Maybe up north, but not down here unless we go to the mountains. So anyways, I know I'm like all over the place today. I am all over the place today. But you know what? Let's try to work that in. Let's try to work that in. Maybe there's a reason I'm all over the place. Because when it comes to relationships, sometimes we are all over the place. And we try to find our footing. And maybe that's just it. We try too hard to find our footing. Put the desire out there. You don't have to sit there and say, I want a mate that loves hockey. No, you don't need a mate that loves hockey, because you never know. Maybe they like a sport that you don't know about, and you can teach each other those things. Put out there, I want a mate. I want friends. I want someone who's going to treat me with the same respect that I am willing to give them. And remember, when you put that out there, you better be willing to give them that respect that you are desiring. Because that's the two-way street. If you stop giving respect to somebody that you specifically asked for, things might start to fall apart. Because they're going to feel like you're not seeing them. Don't take relationships, no matter what kind of relationship it is, for granted. Even if it doesn't work out, it's a lesson that we learn. It took me a long time to realize that all the crappy things I went with previous boyfriends, they were all a lesson. They were teaching me something. And in the long run, I did end up taking my accountability for parts of those relationships, because I never spoke up during them. When I tried to, I would get shot down. So I would just stop. And then I'd quit and be like, okay, I'm out. And, I didn't handle I have to say, the last relationship I didn't handle well when I broke up with him. I found, I moved in with Sissy and her then husband. They had a room that was open, and I needed to go somewhere fast. So, I had made up my mind. But I had tried to talk to this person over and over and over again, and they wouldn't listen. There was always an excuse and this, that, or the other. And so I decided I was done. But instead of telling him where I was going, because I didn't want him coming after me, because it was hard. I was very in love when I left. But I just, like I said, if I want to spend all these major things that are days that are important to me alone, and if I want to spend the majority of my relationship alone, I can be single and happy and not have to worry. So, and there was no nefarious thing going on. They just, I don't know. It's not important what led to it, but they thought I left them for somebody else. And the funny thing is, that's always what they were worried about. I'm always worried you're going to leave me for somebody else. It's like, I would never do that. I've been cheated on several times and it hurts. And I would never do that. And I still wouldn't do that. Like I said, I don't judge other people. Just to throw this out there, I've known people that had affairs and ended up staying married and having a family. And not the way I would have chosen to do it, But hey, to each their own. I'm not allowed to judge people because people make their own choices. We can listen, we can help guide if they ask for guidance, but we can't fix people. And people are going to do what they're going to do. But we cannot judge people on their past. Okay? We can't. We shouldn't. Because when you judge people on their past, you might miss something incredible. You might miss something beautiful. But I found out later when I was talking to a mutual friend that they thought I left them for somebody else because I wouldn't tell them where I was going. But turns out I was just moving in with Sissy and, again, her then husband. So, you know, it was hard because, you know, you never want your reputation to be stained like that. And there really was no accountability taken on the other side. But he kept worrying that this was what was going to happen. And he kept pushing me away and pushing me away and pushing me away. And I did not leave him for somebody else, but I did leave. And I'll be honest with you, I thought this was my forever person. I really did. And that was a long, long time ago. That was the last person I've ever been with, dated, everything. So yeah, I'm pretty cobwebby. But, but you know what? Cobwebby aside, I've had a beautiful life since then. It's not always been easy. Sometimes it's been very hard. But I say beautiful because I'm still here and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And those are the things that we can talk about. Okay? I mean, let's move out of the friendships and out of the family relationships and let's move into a partner relationship, finding a mate. You know, I mean, we're coming up on the holidays. A lot of people are going to start feeling sad because, you know, you have all of these, you know, jewelry commercials. Give her the gift that she'll remember for the rest of her life. Fuck you, right? That's what you want to say at the TV. Fuck you. Especially if you're single and you're just like, oh, seriously, do I have to watch all these people getting engaged? Do I have to watch all these people? Give her the gift she'll love for the rest of her life. Give him the gift that will, you know, remind him to love you, whatever, you know, however the commercials go. They can bring you down and you can sit there and you can feel lonely and you can feel sad. Don't, because that's not the vibe you want to put out there. That's not the vortex you want to be in. Remember, the universe does not discern between what you want and don't want. Whatever vibration you're putting out there, I hate being single. Oh, okay, fine. Then you're going to continue to be single because that's the vibration you're putting out there. It sucks. I know. I've lived this. I have lived this. Guys, everything I talk about in the perspective, I've been there and done that. Okay? I've been there and done that. Sometimes I'm afraid to say how long I've been single in every aspect because I'm afraid that, you know, people will judge me and then nobody will ever want me because they're like, how's she gonna manage? But I'm going to throw it out here this time. Okay? I broke up with my boyfriend at the beginning of this millennium. Okay? The beginning of this millennium. That's a long time. That's a very long time. But I have discovered wonderful things about myself. Wink, wink. So anyways, let's not go sideways on this. But this is my point. When you constantly put out what you don't want, you're going to continually get what you don't want. So people are not finding it difficult to find the mate of their dreams because that person is not out there, but because of their own contradiction to their own desire and the thoughts they offer about the subject every day. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had a mate? Oh, screw this commercial. I hate this commercial. Why are people so happy in it? High contradictions. You have literally just shot yourself in the foot. Literally. Because you went from having this daydreamy vibe of, oh, somebody floating into my life to, I hate the world because, you know, people have someone to buy jewelry for. I know it seems harsh. I know. I get it. Like I said, I've been there. I've done that. I have been treading the single water for a very, very long time. But I've decided in the last couple of weeks, or the last week, okay, the last couple of days. Let's narrow it down. The last couple of days. Since I got that really good pep talk Saturday, I've decided I'm going to be happy for people. You know? You don't know what their circumstances are. You may wonder, hey, I'm a good person. Why didn't this happen to me? Because maybe you are meant to be on a different path. Maybe this person needed someone to show them that there is somebody like them in this world, and that's what they need to help move them in the direction they need to move in. You may have family and friends that do that for you. I'm grateful that I have family and friends that help move me in the direction I need to move in. They've helped me overcome the stigma of my next birthday. And, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll be honest with you, the majority of that was just thinking about the people that are no longer here as I hit the next milestone. People that never hit their next milestone. My mom, Sissy, Brian, my coworker, and I know people are like, why I always just say coworker? Because it's not my place to share who they are. But the other three, it's very common knowledge. So, it's just all these people that had milestones coming up and they never hit it. And my father is huge on celebrating 0 years because you never know if you're going to make the next one. And I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous as I creep in towards 50, not because of turning 50, but it's like, please let me make it. Please let me make it. Please let me make it. Last week, there were 2 people that passed away. One was my age, one was a couple years younger, and I'm thinking, shit, these are people that aren't going to see the next decade. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about age. Age is just a number. Age is just a marker of how much time you've been on this earth. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, you may be someone that's my age or someone older thinking, I'm still single. No one's going to want me at this age. Whoever your person is out there, it's exactly what I was told on Saturday. There is somebody in this world waking up right now or wandering around right now that is thinking there's somebody out there for me. And you're their person. And when you start to believe, it can make that cord that ties you to your soulmate that much stronger. It will unkink it. Think about a water hose, right? When you have that water hose and, somebody's playing tricks on you. God, this has happened so much when I was a kid. And I'm the dumbass that would look into the thing going, why didn't the water work? Right? Because somebody takes it and just does this. They just do this with the hose until the water all stops. And somebody picks it up. That's dumb. And looks into it and goes, where's the water? And then you get a face full of water. Right? I know. I'm so gullible. It's just sad. But funny now, but not back then. Who needs a face full of water? But that's exactly it. When you don't believe, when you don't trust and believe, when you don't have faith in what you're asking for, when you contradict yourself with the other vibrations, you're kinking that hose or that line between you and the person that is meant for you. And I truly believe there's this beautiful cord, this beautiful, beautiful, glowy, whatever color you want it to be. Okay, they always say like a silver cord is what connects you to you. But whatever cord, color cord connects you to your person, when you believe it, you'll achieve it. Okay, I've heard that somewhere. I can't remember where, so I can't attribute it to anyone. But if you believe it, you'll achieve it. And that's what you have to do. And sometimes you have to push through the muckiest of muck in your head to get there. You have to push through every limiting belief and just, think of it, the limiting beliefs as like a jungle, and you're this, adventurer with their machete just cutting through all this crap to get to that prize, to get to that beautiful ending. That's how you believe. Don't worry about your age. Don't worry about if you can bear children or not. Whoever it is, they're going to love you for exactly who you are. They're not going to worry about all that stuff. It might be a conversation, it might be a topic, but then they're going to realize that their love for you is so much more important, or your love for them is so much more important, that you'll figure out how to weather these things, and you'll do it together. You'll have this partner now on this adventure through life. And you'll see each other through things. One day one of you might fall apart and the other one will sweep in and pick you up. One day they may fall apart and you'll sweep in and pick them up. It's a partnership. So I'm going to read this part one last time, and I really want you to listen to this, okay? People are not finding it difficult to find the mate of their dreams because that person is not out there, but because of their own contradiction to their own choice, to their own desire, and the thoughts they offer about the subject every day. Remember how I used to complain about being single? That did not help me. Remember how I kept saying, oh yeah, I know there's someone out there, but in the back of my head I kept saying I'm going to die alone? That did not help me. When you feel these things start to come up, these negative thoughts, then you feel there might be some feeling behind it, remember the magic words. I do not wish to manifest this into reality. I do not wish to manifest this into reality. One last time, really slow in case you're writing it down. I do not wish to manifest this into reality. That's how you nip that in the bud. That's how you nip those nasty thoughts in the bud. All right. Now, when you constantly offer thoughts about your future relationship that feel good while you think them, that means you are consistently matching the desires that you have discovered as you have lived life. And under those conditions, only someone in agreement with your desires could come to you. So when you see these commercials with happy families or, with the jewelry commercials, just say, you know what? I'm so happy and grateful that I will be able to experience that. And remember, if, you pray, if you set an intention or you set a manifestation, trust and believe in it. You can't just put something out there and expect it to come without doing any work. The work is trusting and believing in it. It's about putting this vibration out there that you truly, truly know this can be yours. That you feel it. And like I said, it may not come to you the way you want it, but it will come to you the way it is meant for you. Okay, so keep your eyes open, take the blinders off, and be open to anything, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. Anything is possible. But just follow your instincts, follow your feeling on the inside, because that's going to get you from point A to point B. And that goes whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or family relationships. The vibe you put behind all these things is what it's going to manifest for you. So make it good, make it beautiful, make it lovely. And in the meantime, if you are a single person and you are looking for that mate, or you are in a relationship where you just feel kind of stuck and you know that, things can be better, just keep trying to put out that good vibe. It may not always end the way you want it to, or may not always turn out the way you want it to, but take the lessons, okay? And know that something great is out there for you, regardless. So, I think this is a really good card, especially for December, right? I mean, today's December 1st. So rabbit, 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 rabbit. I'm very superstitious sometimes. But yeah, this is a good card to start December 1st with. We're heading into the holidays. We're heading into, you can't get away from the jewelry commercials until after Valentine's, okay? It's going to be Christmas, New Year's, January's kind of a all around everything month, because in January you start getting the Valentine's commercials, right? I'm all for February 15th when the chocolate is half off. I know. Yesterday, I was like totally craving nuts and shoes from C's Candy. I don't know why. Those are my favorites, but it's just like, why am I craving those? But it just sounded like a really good idea. So anyways, again, go out there, put the vibes out, all right? This is about reminding the universal law that what you want, it needs to deliver to you, okay? So I hope everybody has a great, great day. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow. Who wants to come tomorrow? Tomorrow's Aloha Oracle Friday, so we'll take back up the cards on Monday with card number 13. So if Aloha Oracle Friday is not your jam, it's okay. Come back Monday or tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time under Shelly Marie Lucas, Facebook Live. All lives are public. We don't need to be friends. So you can just pop on in if you have a Facebook account and come watch and, join in. I just saw these comments I got from older sibling. But yeah, just pop on in, have a conversation. Yesterday we were talking about one thing and my dad popped on, and next thing you know, we're talking about Star Trek. So, anything can happen. That's the fun with the lives. Anything can happen. You may have a subject, you may have something that you're tuned into and want to share with the world, but it could go sideways in a good way. All right. If that's not your thing, I also post these to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective. I do a very short version where I just read the card on TikTok under the same name. And I do share these to Twitter under GoalieFan1973 and the Aloha Perspective. I think it's actually Shellbell's Quest, but the title is the Aloha Perspective, Shell Marie Lucas, something like that. So Shellbell's Quest is my that's my mental health account, where I have a lot of, it's a wonderful community. It's a wonderful community. It's almost like you know, I have the Twitter account for all the goofiness since 2009 when I joined Twitter, and then I think it was 2018 when I joined with my mental health one and found this beautiful community that really kind of helped push me through my helped push me along with the people I do know on my journey. And I met some really great people there and have some really good friends there now. So please take care of yourselves. All right. I know the holidays can be very hard for a lot of people. So if I sound like a broken record every single time when I say please take care of yourselves, it's because I know how hard the holidays can be. Okay. And it can be hard to have a good mindset about this, but that's why these cards are the perfect time, coming in at the perfect time, because we can change the narrative. We can flip the narrative into our favor. But you have to trust, you have to believe, and you have to have faith in what you're asking for. You know, and if, you know, ask them for timing. The timing on the other side of the veil is so different than ours. So you may think, oh my God, why are they moving so slow? Well, over there, it may not be that slow. So just say, you know what, in my time. Okay, if that's your belief, you know, if you believe on the other side of the veil, in my time. All right, so again, have a great day, everybody. I will see everybody tomorrow who wants to be here for Aloha Oracle Friday. You know, it can be fun. I mean, we get messages from everywhere, and it's always a fun time. So have a great day, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you back here Monday for card number 13. Have a great day.